Welcome to episode 22 of Steins Gate. We're really getting down to the wire here. Okabe has to make his choice about getting out of this timeline where Mayuri dies into a timeline where Makise dies, and I can't wait to see how it all wraps up in the last few episodes. So let's get into it. We're going to watch the episode and discuss it. Got the timer and the subtitles here if you want to follow along that way, or you can pull up the episode on your own. But either way, let's watch episode 22 in 3, 2, 1, play. And I think there's an after credit scene in this episode, from what I have been told. It's either 22 or 23, but I think it was 22. So I will pay attention for that. Go back to the beta world line where Kurisu will die. Here we go. Let's see how it all plays out. This episode is called Being Meltdown. Being John Malkovich. So we'll see. While the OP is playing, though, let me just say that if you enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell to be notified when the new videos come out. Steins Gate is on Mondays, and I have other videos that come out every single day of the week. Also, check out the links in the description down below. There's Twitter and Discord if you want to come talk, come hang out. And there's Patreon. Supporting me on Patreon helps the channel to stay alive and also gets you rewards, such as early videos and voting on which shows I watch in the first place. So that's great. But yeah. I'm really happy this OP stayed the same for the whole show, because I like it a lot. It was actually stuck in my head, I think it was yesterday. Mostly just the hacking to the gate part. I just, for some reason, kept going, hacking to the gate, like over and over in my head yesterday. Guess I was just itching for some Steins Gate, and so here we are. Obviously, we have to leave this timeline. World line. Whatever. And we gotta find out all the details about Kurisu's death, and then see if anything can possibly be done. And here she is. Last episode ended with her going to the building, like, where she would die. Here she is up here. Yep, that was a pretty emotional scene as well. It's all overcast and dark because of the stress and sadness that they're going through right now. Okabe's dealing with a lot. I wonder what she'll have to say. I mean, she's gonna tell him that he has to do it. And the rain! Sadness! Rain! I get it. Yeah, I mean, you said yourself it was cloudy, and there were some gray-ass clouds. Who could have seen this coming? And they're soaked. Nice. He sees that, and that makes up his mind for him. Because of that, he makes the decision to stay in this timeline. He's like, oh my god. Wow, nice. Well, I kind of saw some of her boobs a little bit-ish, so I can't let her die. Okay. So we still get this little moment between the two of them. It's very dark. Before he actually does it, before he goes through with it, we get this moment between the two of them. Just to make it all the more sad that it has to happen. She's probably preoccupied in thought a lot as well. This is a pretty big deal for her. How does it look? Nice. Good impression. Is that pink? Right where it happened? Is she getting a memory of it? Yep. As everybody else had too. Damn. Big time. Mm-hmm. Nothing changes. Yeah, but you're no different. You're important to him as well. Yeah. You knew that, of course, she was going to say that. There's the whole CERN situation, too, but, you know, this is not what we're talking about. Hopefully there's a way around that, but yeah, for now, as far as they know, if he does this, then she will die. But there's just nothing. She tried to think of other ways around it. Oh, what is he gonna try to do now though? I mean, I definitely admire him, of course, for not wanting her to die. But what else can you do? She's just like, dude, that's enough. There's nothing. It has to happen, and you just have to accept it. Hopefully, that won't be the case after the fact. But for now, it's what we gotta do. Man. It's already done a lot of damage as it is. It's quite a few. I wonder if he's counted. I'd like to know the exact number. Because I'm sure it's more than we've seen. It's already done so much to him. It's like I can't even get any worse than it already is. That's true. Always the one to talk some sense into him and help him out. course he knows, but it's hard to go through with it. And of course, you just see this happen so many times, eventually it just, it gets to the point where it can't get worse. It's affected you so much that you've just reached your breaking point. Yeah, it gets to the point where it becomes the easy solution, like, oh, I can just redo things, so it's fine. Because it stops affecting you in the way it used to. Especially since she actually remembers her deaths in her dreams. That's fucked up. And what it'll do to him in the long run won't be reversed. To become more and more broken, seeing her die over and over. And that's not going to ever go away. You're going to have that stuck with you forever. I'm glad they're really taking the time to give them these scenes together. Are they gonna... That's just depressing. I just have to hope that something can be done about it that we just don't know about yet. Well, I don't think that's how it works. Yeah, but that's not how it works, right? I mean, there's only like one true world line active at any one time. But she's just trying to give him some kind of hope, something. Like, hey, you don't know exactly how it works. Maybe in some way I am still alive somewhere else. She's just trying to give him something. Right? A person only truly dies when they are forgotten. Right? Dr. Hiruluk. Whoa, that I care about the most. Just straight up. Straight faced. Totally just says it. Whoa. Close your eyes. Is she gonna kiss him? Why do you have to spend the entire episode doing this just to make us then go to the world line where she dies? I'm glad they did it. I was wondering, like, are they going to kiss? Are they going to confess their feelings? I was thinking that it wouldn't go that far. Of course, you're going to say that. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I was thinking that they were just going to be all tsundere about it, but I'm really glad that they actually went through with it. Nice. I need to we need to do it again to make sure it's memorable. We need to do it many, many times. Okabe, you dog. That's pretty great, though. Pretty much. That was a great scene between those two. So leaving Japan here. Oh, that thing. What does it do? What is the upgrade? What is that? Some DK pepper. It's useless now. You throw a soda like that and it falls down the stairs. It's open that shit and it's gonna explode everywhere. What did she just mouth? And there you go. How the hell did she get that far that fast? And he didn't even hear it. Doesn't matter. It's just her way of going. Without a real goodbye. Yeah, he can't even talk to them about her. But he's got that. There's really not a lot of time left in this show. It's making me worried that she's not gonna be saved. Like, I'm just trying to hold out some kind of hope, but everything that's building up here is pointing to this being it. There it is. Have to do it. Operation Verdandi. He's got to put on the Kiyoma persona to get himself pumped up. You can hear the pain in his voice, though. And so can they. Damn, look at them. Look at their reactions to him. Damn, you could just... His voice right there was great. Whoa. Putting on the persona, but also just like, seems like barely holding back tears. And she came back to really see him one more time. That's great too. Well, you gotta... You just had to throw that last little bit in there. Oh, it's beyond... Whoa, okay, there we go. She came back, she said it, didn't fully say the whole thing though. Like, it's really grab the heartstrings there, pal. Tug on those things. There's only 3. I was hoping that somehow that would remain there, but no. They have no idea what's happening. This is the most mad scientist he has ever sounded. I love his voice in this episode. He's always been great, but especially here. Mamoru Miyano. Wow. Yeah. But we still have 2 episodes left. So maybe those last 2 are going to be about trying to find a way to save Kurisu. The show's not over yet, so we've got to... Something else has got to happen here. Something else has got to... that's not the end. There's more episodes, so... and we still don't even know who killed her. So there's a lot that we'll still find out, and some stuff that'll happen. Wait, okay. So, it's actually... You hear sounds during the ED. There's typing, and then a phone ringing. So let's see what happens. Is it somehow... Is it somehow Kurisu on the phone? Suzuha? Is that why she said dad? Yeah. I was like, I don't know, maybe she was just... Wow, just telling him. Yeah. Okay. I was like, could it be Kurisu and she's just making some weird excuse to talk to him? Or is it Suzuha? And yeah, there you go. Wow. Hi. You need to stop World War III. Okay. I guess I'll do that then. I just went through all this other shit. I just did all this other stuff. Fuck. Well, let's talk about it. Alright, episode 22. I think this might be like the least I've ever talked during a reaction. It really felt like that to me anyway as I was doing it, and I think that speaks to the episode, like why that would be, just because most of the episode is just this emotional moments between Okabe and Kurisu, and so most of it was just me sitting there feeling the emotion and letting it all soak in and just being like, just heavily, like the thoughts just weighing heavily on me about what has to happen here and what they're going through, that didn't feel like saying as much because I was just into the moment, But yeah, I'm glad they really devoted the time to it, even though I'm hoping that by the end we can find a way to save Kurisu. I'm glad that here they gave these characters the moments that they needed to have, because it was great for both of them. I'm so glad that it went to the places that it did. I'm really happy with all that, how all that played out. And then by the end we've got like a whole new thing going on, because there's an after credit scene So I'll just talk about that real quick right here at the beginning. Somebody calls and I'm like, is it somehow Kurisu? Somehow. Something happened. And no, it's Suzuha. She knows that Daru is her dad here. And she says, hey, by the way, World War III is gonna happen, so let's go ahead and take care of that real quick. Okay. 2 episodes away from the end of the show. Real quick, World War III is gonna happen. Great. I just did all this fucking shit. I just went through all this. We did it all. We did it. I got to the 1%. I'm here. We're done. It's done. And then they're like, oh, by the way, World War III also. Presumably this is a good thing, though, because this will somehow give Okabe a reason and way to save Kurisu. Kurisu dying leads to World War III? Or it's just an unconnected series of events that's going to happen in this world line? I don't know, but presumably and hopefully saving Kurisu will be the way to prevent World War III. How he will actually do that, I have no idea. Because we knew something else had to happen, because it's kind of like wrapping up towards the end here, but you know that there's several episodes left, so what else is going to happen? And then this whole World War III thing is introduced, so there's time. There's time to save Kurisu. We don't know how. Because it seems like when somebody's going to die, they're just going to die, no matter what you do, how many times you try to save them. Mayuri died, I don't even know how many times. Many, many times. So I don't know how he'll do it. I don't know how they'll be connected. We still don't have the details on who killed Kurisu or why, so there's still stuff to learn there. And yeah, as for like the World War III thing, like I'm really just taking that as a way, like the reason for why we're continuing here to save Kurisu. Kurisu is going to be the important part. Just like recently, saving Mayuri was the focal point. That's what Okabe cared about. That's what the audience cared about. Those were the personal stakes. Like CERN's dystopia, that's just the backdrop for why the plot events are happening. The thing we really care about, the tangible physical reward for saving the day right in front of us, is that our character that we like, Mayuri, gets to still be here. So, like, same thing with Kurisu. World War III, that's just some random thing that they throw in there as the reason for why these last few episodes are going to be whatever they are to help save Kurisu. Hopefully she gets saved. As the episode is playing out, like, I'm feeling less and less confident about it, because, you know, we're getting down... I was thinking maybe, like, early in this episode he might make the leap, but that doesn't happen until the end of this episode, and then we've only got 2 left, and I'm like, is there enough time even to save her? But now that we have this whole thing going on, I think we will. I think we'll be saving her by the end, which is great. I like a lot of the imagery in this episode. At the beginning, it's raining outside, and it's all dark, and the scene where she's sewing up his coat and everything. There was that one shot that held for quite a while on that flashing sign with the arrow, the like one-way sign. I'm just staring at that like, yep, I get it. Also part of the sign, there was even like a guy under it who's like, it looks like he's digging a hole in the ground or something. So if you want to look extra far into it, that might have also been relevant, like digging a grave, like somebody's death. Like, this one way is the only way that you can go, the only way toward Kurisu's death. But yeah, just all the moments between Okabe and Kurisu. I have loved their chemistry throughout the entire show. Like, the dialogue and the character interactions and just the characters in general have been my favorite part of the show. That's why I love the beginning so much. People say that the beginning is slow. It doesn't really pick up until the plot really kicks in when Mayuri dies. But I don't agree with that at all. I thought it was fantastic the whole time, just because the characters were so great. Their interactions, the dialogue was just always great. I thought it was fantastic from the very beginning. And Okabe and Kurisu have always been one of the highlights in terms of character interactions. And so here, I'm so glad they went all the way with it. I was worried that they were going to have some tsundere moments and maybe just like be kind of coy about it and be like, oh, well, you know, I may feel some ways. No, he just says straight up, completely normal Okabe in her face, I love you. How do you feel about me? Of course, by the end, she comes back to say it too. And they kiss multiple times, which was great. Like, I really just need to make sure this memory is cemented in my mind, so we're gonna have to do it again. Probably gonna have to do it many times. Fantastic. I love that that happened. The conversations between them, it's such a hard thing to deal with. He's gone through so much already. Like I said, we have no idea how many times. We've seen plenty of times him going through Mayuri's death. But I'm sure there's like a ton off screen. He has said, like, I've gone through it over and over and over, plenty that we didn't see. I'm sure in the visual novel it shows even more. I don't know if it ever gives an exact number. We don't need that. We know it's been many times, and we know about the effects that it's had on him, and even on Mayuri, because she remembers them in her dreams, and that's a lot for her to have to deal with, and how she feels that Okabe has gotten so distant from her. But it's just a lot to deal with, and I just love all the conversations that they have about how it's not fair to Mayuri, like, you're gonna have to make her keep going through this pain, and it's not fair to you. Of course Kurisu's gonna be selfless and tell him that they have to do this. And again, I love that they don't even mention the CERN thing, because that's not what we're dealing with, that's not what we're talking about, and that's not what we care about. It doesn't even mention, hey, we have to stop CERN. He's just keeping it personal, and I really like that. But it's like, you know, you are going to be so broken by this. Like, he's seen Mayuri die so many times that he's just kind of become numb to it, because of course, and has considered time travel to just be like the easy way out. Oh, well, you know, I'll wait this time and see Mayuri die so that I can learn the precise time, and then it's not a big deal because I'll just go back and redo it. And he's kind of upset with himself for getting to that mindset, just because, I mean, you can't help it. When you've seen it so many times, you're going to grow numb to it. It's going to start to affect you less and less. And it's because of that, because like it's affecting him less and less, he's not really aware of how much it's still like continuing to break him. He's like, there's no way I can get worse than it already is. But Kurisu basically tells him, like, yeah, it can. And it will. Like, it will continue to make things worse and worse for you. And I just don't want to let that happen. And they have this conversation about what it even means to change world lines, which is really interesting because as far as I know, as far as was stated in the show, as I understand it, is that there's only one functioning world line at any one time. Like, the other ones are all possibilities, they're all potential world lines, but there's only one that's truly active. Okabe doesn't just leave one and then that one continues on after that. If so, then there'd be no point to doing most of this, because it's like, oh, we have to go to this timeline to prevent CERN's dystopia or World War III or whatever. But if there's just infinite timelines that are always ongoing at all times, then it's like, well, it doesn't really matter. As far as I know, there's only one. Maybe that's just a theory, but as far as I know, that's what we're going with as being the truth. But it's still an interesting discussion anyway, just because of how people are able to remember things from other world lines, which I wasn't sure about at first, because it was always Okabe. He had the reading Steiner, and we never really knew why. Ferris was the first one to start remembering things from the other world lines, and I wasn't sure how I felt about that. I really liked it by the time it paid off last time with Mayuri, finding out that she had had dreams about all of her deaths. I really liked it by that point, but this just reinforces that even more when she's talking about her memories of not only her own death, but of Okabe and how she admired him so much for trying as hard as he was and seeing how much he cared for Mayuri and how important it was to him and how he could care for a person so much. And just her talk about what it could mean to travel to different world lines. Like, maybe I am still alive here, maybe I am still alive somewhere, even if you just take this scene as just a way for her to comfort him and give him some kind of hope, even if she knows that it's probably not true. Just giving him something to hang on to. Just keep his memories of her alive. And it's just an interesting, weird sci-fi thing to think about, that like the yous from every conceivable world line all kind of come together to be like the real you and what that would mean. And it's just that classic thing from One Piece, like, as long as I'm not forgotten, I won't be truly dead. Not that One Piece invented that, but it's just a pretty famous thing, a big thing that happened in One Piece. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, the reading Steiner, I don't really expect that to be explained at this point. I did in the past, but at this point I really don't. It seems like different people just are able to comprehend different amounts for whatever reason. He can remember all of this. It's fine. I accept it. And then other people are able to remember certain amounts too. And it makes me think of like Interstellar, when a lot of people criticized that movie for being so on the nose with its themes. When I think they literally say the line like, love can transcend time and space, or transcend dimensions, or something like that. And it's just like a little too on the nose, and that's kind of what they seem to be getting at here in a way. but it's just handled in a much better way. It's all kind of theoretical, all kind of romanticized, and vague as to what the exact specifics of it are. I think we're still operating with the there is just one active world line thing, but, you know, we can theorize forever, and the characters can, about exactly, like, what that means, like how people recall memories from other world lines, and what all the specifics of it are. But yeah, you know, it's rough to watch in this episode, Okabe having to come to terms with this. It's really hard for Kurisu, too, that she's going to be dead, that she has to deal with all this. She spent time trying to come up with anything to try to fix this, and she just couldn't, and she had to accept it, and has to force Okabe to accept it, and that they have to go through this is rough, and that he's not willing to do it. And I admire him for being willing to try to save her, because of course she's this really important person to him. But it gets to the point where you're just like, man, it gets to the point where it's just sad, where he's running through the rain, running away from her, trying to go somewhere to see what he can do, anything at all, and you just know that it's not going to work, and there's nothing else, and he has to do this. And he has to give up on it, with the hope that hopefully, after he jumps to the New World Line, we'll find out some new information, which clearly we have, since there's a whole World War III thing happening now. But yeah, it's rough to watch in the moment, knowing that he has to do it. She was always there for him. They had a lot of rough spots, a lot of hilarious banter, weird insults. But she was the one that he always went to, told the truth to, always helped him out, always the voice of reason a lot of the time, snapping him out of things when he needed it, bringing her own mad scientist persona. She does a great laugh in this one too. So it was just great watching their relationship develop to this point, and then their goodbye. I love how she throws the soda so that she can have a moment to get away without him having to watch her leave or like truly say goodbye. I don't think it's possible for her to have run that far, that fast, and that silently, but the emotional point of the scene works, and that's what really matters. And the fact that she comes back to say I love you, and then the fact that she doesn't quite say it, she says enough to where you know what she's saying, but he doesn't quite hear the whole thing. It's just like the perfect thing they could have done to really have that emotional impact. And oh my god, I can't believe I didn't talk about this sooner. Speaking of the emotional impact, Mamoru fucking Miyano. I have loved his performance as Okabe through the whole show, but here, oh my god, that was like one of the biggest things for me. When he is announcing their victory and how they've done it, and he's gonna leap this one last time, and then after the leap, his voice acting there was fucking phenomenal. Just, it brought out this crazy mad scientist excitement mixed with this sadness that you could just hear so palpably in his voice. It was like perfect. Like he's this crazy mad scientist sounding like Ho-Oh in Kiyoma, but while also like choking back the tears. And the way Daru and Mayuri were looking at him during that was just perfect. I was like, oh my god, that's incredible, honestly. That was fantastic. That really, like, sold the whole thing. And then Mayuri, after the fact, telling him, like, hey, I'm okay now. You can cry for yourself. Like, her understanding of everything that he's been through and everything that's happened. And then now he can finally take some rest and cry for himself and not worry about her right now. Oh man, that was good shit. Honestly, if the show had ended right here, or maybe with one more episode for just some wrap-up, I think I could be fine with that. If you just retooled some things here and there. If it ended with having to go to this world line where Kurisu is killed, then that would be really sad, but it would be well done. It would be an emotional ending. We would need, like I said, maybe a little more time for wrap-up and retooling some things just to have an explanation for why she died, or if you had changed that reasoning in the first place or explained it earlier. But, you know, if this had been the end and it's just sad and Kurisu is dead in this world line and he has to live with that knowledge and nobody else knows her, nobody else to talk to about it, it would have been an emotional ending. Could have definitely been done well, but I am definitely excited to see more and see how it can possibly be changed and to be really happy when it happens. This was just a really emotional episode. I enjoyed every bit of it. Some interesting things to think about in just the time travel sci-fi lore and how that relates to the personal memories and feelings of our characters. And if there's anything specific you want to talk about in the comments, feel free, about how the world lines work or all that stuff. But, you know, in general, just everything that was presented in this episode was just really damn good. And I'm excited for where we go from here. Can't wait to see how they fix this, what happens in these next couple. I'm really glad that I saw that little after credits scene. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the episode down in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Check out my links in the description, Twitter, Discord, Patreon, all that stuff. Appreciate all the support, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.